What is up, Dallas Cowboys fans? Your friend IndyCar Tim here with your Dallas Cowboys Daily Blitz. It is preseason. It is Rams. Things are amping up. Things are gearing up, boys and girls, for the upcoming 2024 Dallas Cowboys football season. And, man, what a season it's going to be. Man, there are just God, how many question marks can you place on the Dallas Cowboys upcoming season between contract uncertainties with your coach, your quarterback, with actually the entire coaching staff, your new defensive coordinator on a one-year deal, your quarterback's not locked down past this season. CeeDee Lamb is holding out. Michael Parsons coming up due, although I think it's really early to be talking about him in this whole thing, but everybody is. And he's got 2 more years before we really got to worry about that. But preseason is upon us. Game 1 is on Sunday, and we are approaching kickoff rapidly here in the city of Dallas. I'm IndyCar Tim for FanStream Sports, FanStreamSports.com, and the FanStream Sports mobile app. Also, CowboysCountry.com with Athlon Sports. Make sure you check out CowboysCountry.com for all of your Dallas Cowboys up-to-date information, roster, news, trade rumors, all of that stuff, all things Dallas Cowboys at CowboysCountry.com. You also see me over on the Fish Report YouTube channel, where Fish appears most of the time live from the Star. So you want all of the insider information, go tune into Fish. He's also on the FanStream Sports channel as well from time to time. So appreciate Fish and all the things that he does for the Cowboys and for the fans over there. So the preseason. There are certainly position battles. There are players to watch for here as we enter the game against the Rams coming up. And I thought I would go over some of these things because some of the performances that we see here over the next couple of weeks, you've got Rams, Raiders, and then Chargers for your 3 preseason games. And, man, thank God it's only 3, right? You guys enjoy that as much as I do. 3, that's all we need, right? We don't need more. We probably need less. But some of the offensive positions that I kind of wanted to get into that I think we need to pay attention to here, certainly QB2 will be one of them. Trey Lance reportedly has not impressed this offseason, particularly in training camp. He has failed to break past Cooper Rush for the QB2 position, for the backup role. And I think if Trey Lance cannot beat out Cooper Rush for the backup quarterback role this offseason, then that trade, and I know you didn't give up a ton for it, but that trade is a fail. And Trey Lance might as well be a fail because I think the Cowboys had plans for him to, contend maybe for a starting spot had things gone south with Dak. And especially when you're in the contract situation with Dak, I think you wanted to see something from Trey Lance. I thought they think maybe they could develop him a little bit. That clearly has not happened. So we will certainly see Cooper Rush and Trey Lance splitting time here in the preseason. And we'll see who can make a name for themselves. Clearly, Rush is the incumbent there and has proven himself time and time again backing up Dak. So Lance is going to have to do something special, I think, to beat him out. One of the other kind of anticipated position battles we've got is at wide receiver. Of course, CeeDee Lamb holding out, won't be playing this preseason unless he signs here in the later stages of the offseason. Brandon Cooks has kind of established himself on the roster as a veteran presence. So you got those guys. Jalen Tolbert, probably your number 3 guy, which would be good for the Cowboys. They needed to see something from him, and I think he's come on this offseason quite a bit to lock down that number 3 guy. But behind him, you've got Jalen Brooks. You've got Tyron Billy Johnson. A lot of guys vying for playing time there. Certainly Kevontae Turpin, with his versatility, is going to be considered there. The Cowboys used him quite a bit on the run game as well last year. So he's got the versatility, of course, to make the roster in addition to being a kick returner there. Tolbert, now entering his 3rd season, I think he's shown enough to the team, and they've been impressed enough with him to secure a starting role as the wide receiver 3 there. And certainly rookie Ryan Flournoy will be part of that equation as he attempts to fight to make this roster, make the final 53. So certainly eyes all on them, on the wide receivers against the Rams on Sunday. Another kind of critical focus I think we need to pay attention to is going to be along the offensive line. The Cowboys drafted a couple of big-time rookies in Tyler Guyton and Cooper Beebe. Neither one of those guys made the Cowboys' initial depth chart as a starter. I think Tyler Guyton certainly was expected to be a starter coming into 2024 for day one against the Browns in the week one of the regular season. He has not been able to do so yet. He has certainly showed promise, but he's been slowed sort of by illness. Hasn't been as healthy as he needed to be this offseason. But he should, as long as he's healthy, expect to see considerable playing time for him on the offensive line, as well as Beebe. Now, Beebe was a third-round pick, so his expectations may be a little bit different, but he was certainly drafted to compete for a starting spot at least, and that's what he's going to have to do. So pay close attention to the offensive line with Guyton and Beebe. Another spot, it was something we paid attention to this offseason big time, and a lot of us were disappointed at the maybe lack of a signing of a big name at this position, but it is certainly running back Ezekiel Elliott back in the fold. And I have no problem with this, by the way. A lot of people hate this option. I thought he should have been an option very early on in the offseason. I think it's a no-brainer, to be quite honest with you. When the Cowboys failed to sign a big name starter because of a lack of funding, a lack of roster, or a lack of salary cap space, I thought Ezekiel Elliott was the no-brainer. And here we are. So we'll see if he's got anything left in the tank. Rico Dowdle, of course, is your number 2 guy. Hunter Lepke will be your fullback. After that, Malik Davis, Deuce Vaughn, Royce Freeman, all of these guys fighting for roster spots. Of course, Deuce Vaughn, sort of the sentimental favorite for Cowboys fans to make the roster. And he's been used a little bit in kick returns and punt returns as well with that new format on the kickoff. But as far as defensive positions go, got to see something out of Mozzie Smith, right, on the defensive line. You really need to see him, as he was already labeled by a lot of people as a bust last year in his rookie year. He was a huge disappointment, just could not seem to find his footing, so to speak, and literally, figuratively and literally, on the defensive line, and fell out of favor. Mike Zimmer seems to think he can bring him back, seems to think he can make something out of him, so we will certainly see. Who are we to doubt anything Mike Zimmer thinks he can do on the defense, right? That's certainly not our place. But, those are some of the spots. If you want to look at the tight end race, you certainly can. We always pay attention to the kicker. We didn't necessarily have a problem with Aubrey last year, but we need to see that again, right? It seems like that's a year-to-year thing with the Cowboys. So lots of things to pay attention to here for the Cowboys against the Rams. And as the preseason continues here, again, with the Raiders and the Chargers over the next 2 weeks after this week. So let me know what you guys think. Just comment here on the Facebook video, either on the Fish Report YouTube channel or here on FanStream Sports. You can find me on X at IndyCar Tim. I would love to hear from you. Love to hear what your expectations are against the Rams and for the rest of the preseason. And as far as that goes, for the rest of the Dallas Cowboys 2024 regular season, another 12 wins. I think there's 12 wins left in this tank here for the existing team, and maybe 1 or 2 playoff wins. I think that's what it's going to be. That'll be necessary to save Dak's job and maybe even McCarthy's job. We'll get into that on another show, and we'll do that later this week. Until then, boys and girls, we'll see you.